This is really important because if you do not start level, then the whole wallpaper roll comes down crooked. Hi, are you Helena? I'm Mandy Cheng. I'm an interior designer, and I'm going to help Helena reclaim her dining room nook from her kids. I have one afternoon to transform this space.
Yeah, are you Mandy? Hi, my name's Helena Birmingham. We used to have this space as a bar nook area, and it has quickly turned into a kids area. And now we're trying to reclaim this space as a bar again. Come on in.
Thank you. Oh, wow. Wow, you were right about the bubbling.
It was a little challenging. The wall isn't all that straight.
Yeah, it's also hard to get the patterns to line up perfectly. Tell me about this space.
Yeah, so it used to be a bar,
Fun.
as you can see. And then we had our first daughter, and it quickly evolved into a Lego stand, and that has completely taken over. Everything overflowing everywhere. So now we're looking to turn it back into a bar space where we can enjoy our drinks while we're having dinner. So very functional, but definitely not a kids space anymore.
So a kid-friendly bar, but not one where they can also drink.
Yes, please.
Got it. So I'm gonna try to get this all done in one day. I'd love to get started. I think we're gonna try to wallpaper now. How do you feel about that? So Helena had a patterned wallpaper where you could really see the texture of the walls as well as the bubbling of the paper. So I've chosen a wallpaper that has a very small pattern on it and not very much white. With this, you really can't see any bubbling, any texturing of the walls at all. So I'm pulling this kind of slowly and evenly because if not, it might pull the drywall off like this right here. Like this, it's a really, really thin layer. It's basically just this last coat of paint. So we can sand it and you won't notice it when we repaint the wall, but I don't want to pull off a giant chunk of drywall, so we're doing it a little bit slow. So I'll use this painter's tape to tape down the plastic, and then you want to frog tape the baseboards. Frog tape is the best painter's tape. It helps with painting really clean lines. Blue tape is also painter's tape, but when you put it on the wall, you have to press really hard to keep the paint from bleeding. But the frog tape, it has really good adhesive, so it just gives you a cleaner line with less effort. That looks so good.
Yeah, it's a nice color.
So what I'd like to do is run one roll down the center and then split it so that there's a portion on this side and a portion on this side so that when you walk in and you look, you don't see a seam running down the center of the wall. This is really important because if you do not start level, then the whole wallpaper roll comes down crooked. We are getting ready to install this toe kick. This is gonna serve as the platform for our cabinet that we purchased, and then we'll attach the cabinet to the wall on top of this platform, and then it'll look like a custom built-in. It's a multi-tool. You can make it sand as well. Like, it's really nice for like very precise, tiny measurements like that. So we're hoping that the walls are straight enough that when we drop this in, everything fits perfectly. It doesn't always happen on the first go, so if we need to, we will cut more of the baseboard, but we're trying to cut as little as possible so that when we fit this in, it looks like a custom built-in. These are just, standard pieces of pine plywood. You can cut them according to the size of your opening. If you take a look at them, it's very simple construction, but this is basically how any custom cabinet maker builds a toe kick. The key to this is once you build it, you then need to level it. So we have some shims that help with leveling, and then once it's level, you screw it into the wall, and that makes this part stable. So you can see already along the back wall how the wall is concave. So that's why all of these shims and leveling is really important so that when we build on top of it, everything is straight from this point forward. Cool. Toe kick's in. So I chose this walnut color for the toe kick because I felt like it fit really well with the colors in this space. The common thread is that the undertone is the same. It has the same reddish brown hues to it. It's just intensity is different. I've separated these into 2 different rows just to give you a better idea. These would all work really well in this space with the tone of the floors and of the table. This row would not work well just because there is too much color variation and they don't really work with the undertones that we have in this house. We definitely don't want this to tip forward, so we've put screws in the back that we can just put a little melamine sticker over that hides it. And that way, you know, if kids are climbing up this cabinet or there's an earthquake, it doesn't fall over. Okay, floating shelves. So this right now is the only surface for making a drink, and I just felt like it would be nice to have a second one, but one that's not always out and always in the way. So I got this little collapsible table, so all you have to do is pull this down, and she has an extra tabletop surface. And then when she needs to access stuff on the shelf, all she has to do is push this back up. Okay, let's get these shelves up. I'm doing floating shelves here that do not span the full width because if you leave a little bit of space, they give you a little bit of flexibility in case your walls aren't perfectly straight. I grabbed a wine rack. It's a good spot to just hang wine glasses where they don't really obstruct what you place on this bottom shelf. It's high enough that a kid can't reach it. It's also, you know, kind of at your eye level, so it makes sense to have it here. You can grab it, use this surface or the flip down table surface to pour yourself a glass of wine.
Okay.
I'm not tall enough to do this.
Right.
So Patrick is getting ready to install the highest shelf. It's actually gonna span the entire wall, and I chose to add this one particular shelf just to keep your eye moving upwards, because otherwise it would stop right here and it would make this space feel a little squattier, and I want it to feel taller and bigger, so we're going all the way up to the ceiling. So this is earthquake putty, and I use it when I put stuff on shelves where it might fall over onto you. And you just put it in a ball, stick it, and then put whatever you want on top of it, and it holds it down in the event of an earthquake. All right, so the space is ready. You wanna go check it out?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, it looks amazing. I love it. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
I can't wait to have a drink.
Does it feel adult once again?
It does. It looks absolutely amazing. It just is completely transformed, and there's no more bubbles on the wall.
There's no more bubbles on the wall.
Yes, and I love how it's just clean lines. Even the color tone of it is perfect.
Agreed. It feels very grown up, and it feels like a cohesive, entertaining space now. But also down here, I made it kid baby friendly.
Yeah.
So even if they do pull things off the shelf, it's not gonna topple onto their heads.
Yeah. I love
it. I was originally actually going to put brass knobs on this cabinet, but I decided for kid-friendly reasons, I didn't, because little kids are really good at pulling knobs.
Yes,
so I kept them off. So if you do want to open them.
How gorgeous. Yeah. I love it. Yeah, I love how it's just really clean.
So the nice thing about this is when you're not entertaining, this could be like a hazard, I guess, if you're walking into this space and you're not really expecting it. So the nice thing is that these are magnets, and all you have to do is
oh, that's so cool. I love it.
So much more accessibility to your shelves.
It's really safe. It's perfect.
So when you have friends over, I mean, how do you see yourself using this space?
So normally we have small gatherings, and so we just sit here at the table, gather around, and we'll be able to have our drinks just right here.
I love that. I love that I've centralized everything to one area.
I'm so excited. We'll have to have everyone over again.
We're doing it again.
Yes.